still there?
Shout out to everybody who came out of the day. Appreciate you coming out always. Welcome to Cali's Take. This is your first time to the channel. Please like, subscribe. Also hit the notification bell for me if you don't mind. You want to be able to get the bonus content and the newest content first. We put out content every day, so you won't miss any content here. Now, let's just go ahead and jump right into this. I just want to say this first off. It is a must that the Clippers win Game 6 versus the Jazz. And let me tell you why it's a must, because they cannot go into this series. Excuse me, they cannot win this series if they have to go back to Utah for Game 7, because you're putting yourself in a hostile environment, and Donovan Mitchell and the rest of the crew is going to be, I mean, they're going to be, they would be lit up. They would be lit so much. They would have so much adrenaline, so much energy. You wouldn't find yourself out of that situation. You would find yourself in a loss. And because, I mean, if you look at last night's game, even though the Clippers won and they played really good, I mean, it was a close game. You know, the Clippers were never up by like 10, 15, 20 points. And if they were at some point in the game that I might have missed, which I doubt that, the game was closer than what it should have been. You know what I'm saying? I think the Clippers hit like 16, 17 threes, something like that. And it was a close game. You know, it wasn't like a blowout or anything like that. So if it took you to get 37 points and 14, 15 rebounds from Paul George and 25 from Morris and 22 from Reggie Jackson, and you win the game, you win a close game, and Donovan Mitchell didn't even really have a good game. You know, Donovan Mitchell shot pretty poorly. He only had like 21 points. You know, if you got all that contribution from three players on your team and shooting, and I think you hit like 17 3-pointers in the game, and you won by, you won a close game, that's good. But that should tell you something. You got all that contribution from three players and, the rest of the team, and you won a close game with Donovan Mitchell struggling, and they didn't have Mike Conley. So my point is, you don't want to take it back you don't want to go back to Utah in a Game 7, because I don't think Donovan Mitchell would struggle like that at a Game 7 in Utah. And if he did, I'm pretty sure all the rest of, his teammates would pick up the slack, just because of the energy of Game 7 and knowing that it's elimination game, the crowd and everything. I don't think the Clippers want to be back in that situation. So my point is, you got to find a way to win tomorrow's game, because tomorrow is your Game 7, and that's how you got to look at it. You can't go to an actual Game 7 in Utah, because you're probably not going to make it out of that. Tomorrow is your Game 7, and that's the only thing Ty Lue should be preaching to this team. And that's the only thing I need him to preach to this team, because that's pretty much, it's all or nothing tomorrow. It's nothing else after that. You have to just go out there and win tomorrow's game. You have to, because if you do that, then you're taking care of business. And then on top of that, you're giving yourself a better opportunity, to go to the next series and possibly get a game or two from the Suns while Chris Paul might be out. The longer, like I said, if this goes to Game 7 with Utah, that's an extra day or two that you're giving Chris Paul rest with his protocol and everything, whatever he's going through with the health and safety protocols. So you want to end the series tomorrow and face Phoenix maybe Sunday or Monday, and maybe get a game off of Phoenix. At least get a game off of them, because you got to play the first two games in Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? So take care of Utah tomorrow, play Phoenix Sunday or Monday, and with Chris Paul won't be there, I doubt he'll be there. So at least you can get a game off that series. So now you're up 1-0. possibly. You see what I'm saying? Hopefully, well, depending on the fact that Paul George can keep playing the way he's playing, which Paul George is playing great. We'll get to that. And that's the mindset the Clippers need to be in, because that's the best way for the Clippers to excel. Now, like I said, shout out to Reggie Jackson. I said in last night's video, Reggie Jackson has been he's been their third best player without a doubt. I mean, there's games where Marcus Morris shows up, but Reggie Jackson showed up a lot of games in this postseason, and it's been unnoticed. And I think it's time for us to start giving him, his just due, because, the guy deserves a lot of credit. He's been out there, he's been playing hard, and he's been playing okay on defense too. He's not like, there's been times where, guys get by him and stuff like that. But, Reggie, he's playing hard on both ends of the floor, man. And he's trying, he's trying on defense, and he's really producing on offense. So, without Reggie Jackson, I don't think they win a lot of these games. I mean, Kawhi and PG have been magnificent. They've played, to their, especially Kawhi when he was playing. Then PG these last few games, PG's been on fire. But, Reggie Jackson has really held down the fort as that third guy on the team who can go out there and create his own shot. And you don't need to run too many plays for him. He could just, when he gets the ball, he could slow it down, slow the pace down, get into his rhythm, and his step back is lethal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know Reggie Jackson's jump shot was that good. I'm going to be honest. I remember him on OKC and, Detroit and, teams like that. And he was always a good player. He always was, but I didn't know that he was this type of player and he would play this type of way in the playoffs. But, when you put players in a good situation around, star players who have won championships, and they have that mindset going into games, it changes how they play. And, now, and in saying that, I want to speak on that in regards to Paul George, because I feel like being around a Kawhi Leonard has helped Paul George mentally become tougher. Being around a Rondo has helped Paul George become mentally tougher. Being around a Serge Ibaka, even though he's not there, has uplifted Paul George mentally, because he's around guys who have went through the same things he's went through and prevailed and have won championships. You know what I'm saying? So with that being the case, it's like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Now Paul George is playing inspired basketball. And I don't know if it's just being around Kawhi, but I feel like Kawhi, some of his mentality is rubbing off on Paul George. And I feel like that's a good thing for the Clippers. Really good thing. You know what I'm saying? Because that's somebody they're going to need to rely on heavily, depending on, how bad, Kawhi's injury is. And like I said, man, that's just really, really bad for the NBA. I really wanted to see, the Nets versus the Clippers with Kawhi being fully healthy going against Kevin Durant, because I just believe even if the Clippers did make the finals, I believe it would be really tough to beat the Brooklyn Nets. You know what I'm saying? It would just be really tough. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying they couldn't beat them, but without Kawhi Leonard, it would be really tough, especially if Brooklyn by that time has, James Harden playing at a high level without injuries and Kevin Durant. It would be really tough. Just with them two, it would be tough, because Paul, you'd be asking Paul George to try to guard both of them and drop 50, and Reggie Jackson and the rest of the crew, which they can surprise some people in a series like that if they made it that far. I think the Clippers could surprise some people, but I mean, it would be awfully tough to beat them, because Kevin Durant is the best player in the playoffs currently right now. If you want to look at just the top players, so I'm not saying PG, can't do it or anything like that, but without the services of the great Kawhi Leonard, I don't know how they will beat a team like the Nets. Honestly, it would be really tough to get past the Suns, especially if Chris Paul is back and, playing at a high level. Hopefully everything's okay with him as well, but it would be hard to get past the Suns, actually. So, I mean, I really hope Kawhi Leonard comes back or finds a way back and, maybe take a week off or something like that, because I think I truly believe the Clippers can win tomorrow's game to get to Phoenix, and maybe Kawhi can come back against Phoenix, maybe around game 5 or 6, give it a try and see what he can do, maybe, hopefully, quicker than that, hopefully. But I'm just saying, my point is, the Clippers need to focus on one thing only. We could talk about the finals. We could talk about the Suns, all that stuff. We could talk about all that. But the Clippers need to focus on one thing only. And the one thing they need to focus on is getting past Utah. Because, like I said, tomorrow is the game 7 for you. You don't want to go out there and try to feed off the energy of the crowd and fall behind in this game. You don't want to go out there and fall behind, let's say 17-5. You don't want to score like that, because that's exactly what Utah's mentality is going to be coming out tomorrow. Punch the Clippers in the mouth, punch them in the mouth early. Kind of get them off their rhythm. If you get them off their rhythm, you have a chance to escape that game with a W, especially with, the Utah Jazz being a defensive-minded team anyway. So the Clippers are going to have to come out tomorrow with the same energy, and play to the level that we know that they can play. If Paul George is going to lead the way, he's going to have to keep shooting efficient. He can't go through one of those struggling spells of going like 5 of 15, all that stuff. He can't do that. This is not the time for that. So this is what needs to be done. This is how they're going to have to approach it, and that's just the way it's going to have to be. And now, like I said, this is a closeout game for the Clippers. I expect, Reggie Jackson and the rest of the crew to show up as well. A total team effort, just as it was on Utah's home floor, because right now the pressure really is on the Clippers more than it is on Utah. So because you won that road game, you're going to have to follow up that road win last night with a home victory tomorrow night. It's more pressure on the home team because, we've seen the Clippers in the first round, win, a big road game and then go back home and lay an egg. We've seen that. And so we don't want to see that again. We want to see, a continuation of what happened last night going into tomorrow night's game, and the Clippers find a way to get a W, because I definitely believe it's going to be a close game again, because Utah just has a lot of fight in them. They just won't die for some reason. I'm watching this game last night. I'm like, dang, why don't Utah just go away? But Utah just won't go away. That's just their mentality. And Quinn Snyder has them playing that way because that's the way he's got them programmed. And that's really, good on their behalf, because, that makes them the number one team that they were throughout the season. That's the reason why they were number one, because they play with that type of intensity and they play with that type of mentality. So we definitely have to give them credit there. But I just need the Clippers to go ahead and end this tomorrow, because, that's your only chance of getting out of this series. And, you're going to have the crowd. You're going to have, the fans behind you. It's going to be, and I know LA still has the cardboard fan cutouts and stuff like that. It doesn't have all their fans there. But, I mean, still, they got enough there to push them through and get them through tomorrow's game. And I truly expect tomorrow to be it of the series. I just hope that, Quinn Snyder doesn't, throw another loophole in there and, the Clippers, get stagnant on offense and, they're not moving the ball and it's all isolation one-on-one. We don't want too much of that either, because as good as Paul George has been shooting, we know Paul George is a streaky shooter. He can shoot himself into he can shoot himself into like a 40-point game, and he could shoot himself into a slump into like a 20-point game, going like 5 for 16, 5 for 20. We've seen Paul George do it. So my thing is, I need Paul George to stay efficient, take high quality shots, understand what's in front of you. And what's in front of you is an opportunity to go to the conference finals. And that's the next step. Because like I said, the Clippers need to win tomorrow's game so they can play Phoenix Sunday or Monday and possibly get a game out of that series. Because I don't think Chris Paul is going to play the first 1 or 2 games of that series. I feel like Chris Paul will play like the second or maybe third game of that series. Maybe something like that, some third game possibly. So I don't think he's going to play the first 1 or 2 games. So the Clippers can at least get, one victory out of that. At least one, possibly 2, but at least one victory if Chris Paul doesn't play. But the longer this series extends, you're hurting your chances because you're giving the Phoenix Suns more rest and more time. You don't want to give a team more rest. You want to hurry up and get to them. So give them less rest so it can give you a better opportunity to, go at them. And we'll see exactly, how it pans out and everything. But I expect tomorrow to be a close game. I expect the Clippers to win. I'm going to go ahead and pick the score. I'm going to go ahead and pick 114-108 Clippers. I think Paul George is going to have another 30-plus point game. I think Reggie Jackson going to have a bigger game than what he had last night. I think he ended up scoring 22, which is a big enough game for him. But I think he's going to have like 26 or 28 somewhere in there, tomorrow's game at home. I think Marcus Morris is going to go back to, maybe like 17, 18 points in tomorrow's game, maybe close to 20. We'll see. And I actually like the sighting of Rondo, coming out there. I thought that was big for the team, too, to have Rondo, there and come out and, just come out on the floor and, give a little bit of his presence. I thought that was big by Ty Lue to do that. But I mean, hey, Ty Lue's pulling out all the stops. Now that Kawhi's not there, you have to, because I mean, you're never going to make up for what Kawhi Leonard can do. You're never going to make up for that. You don't have the firepower. You don't have the player on the team that can fill Kawhi Leonard's shoes. But you do have the personnel on the team that can help you win games. And that's where we are. And that's what we need to focus on, because I think the Clippers are going to win this series tomorrow. I do. And I think they're going to play the Phoenix Suns. And I think they're going to give the Phoenix Suns everything they can handle. And I think the Phoenix Suns series will go 7 games. Because Phoenix is tough. Because even without Chris Paul, Phoenix, Cameron Payne is really good. I didn't even know Cameron Payne was that good. I remember seeing him, I think, on OKC, and he was pretty good for what I remember seeing, but I didn't think he was good to the level I'm seeing him play on Phoenix. Cameron Payne is a starting point guard for a lot of teams in the NBA. So if that's Chris Paul's backup, that's a really good backup. That's a hell of a backup, because Cameron Payne can go out there. He can shoot with the left hand. He's quick off the dribble, and he kind of freestyles when he plays, because if he drives to the basket and go up with a layup, if it does miss, DeAndre Ayton is eating. He's eating that. He's getting that, going back up with the rebound, put back dunk. Then you got Devin Booker out there. Mikal Bridges seemed like he can't miss from that corner. And Jay Crowder is really good on-ball defender, really good defensively. And he can knock down a 3 himself. And then Cam Johnson, he comes in there, playing his game, knocking down big shots. They're a well-coached, well-oiled machine type team, especially when they have Chris Paul. They're even better. So, like I said, Clippers get past this series, it's really going to be tough against the Phoenix Suns. A lot of people think the Suns was going to be easy for the Clippers. Yeah, I think the Clippers would have beat them in 6 with Kawhi Leonard. I think it might go 7 without Kawhi Leonard, and we'll see exactly how that pans out. But it's going to be really tough, tomorrow night's game, because I know Utah is going to give everything they can. But I think we can do it. I think we can find ourselves, getting through, weathering the storm of what Utah is going to bring. I know Utah is going to bring everything they got, because for the simple fact of, it's elimination game for them. And like I said, we might see Mike Conley, we might not, but I would expect to see Mike Conley, and that should be in the game plan of what Ty Lue should be implementing to the players. Expect to see the unexpected, because that's exactly what Quinn Snyder's going to do. And that's exactly what he should do as a head coach. He should do that, but at the same time, we should go out there and seal the deal and get it over with. We should we should have the mindset of we can do it. And that's the way the Clippers got to think. The Clippers got to think we can beat this team. We have the mental edge. We're in control. We're in the driver's seat. It's our time to take them away, knock them off, and let's go to Phoenix and see what we can do. That's the mindset of the Clippers. That's what the mindset should be. That's how you should look at it. You should look at it no other way except that. Because if you do, I promise you, you'll come out tomorrow's game and you'll be victorious. And you'll go to your first Western Conference Finals as a team, as an organization. And, it'll be great, to accomplish that. But at the same time, it'll be even better, to know that you have the fortitude, the mental fortitude to close a team out on your home floor and don't lay an egg on your home floor when it's all there for you to take it. This is something that the Clippers have struggled with throughout their time as an organization, not taking advantage of opportunities, not being at their best. Well, tomorrow can kind of seal a lot of that. So go ahead out there tomorrow and take care of business. I need Reggie Jackson to give me 20, 25. I need that from Marcus Morris. I need 30 from Paul George. And I need a lot of talking on defense. And I need everybody to play on one accord and get high quality shots. That's exactly the way to beat Utah, because Utah is relying on the fact that their defense can throw you off from taking a lot of bad shots. And their defense is predicated on getting a team far in the shot clock where they have to force shots. And that's the way Utah's defense is made. That's where their defense is, or that's what their defense tries to implement. So if you get high quality shots and the ball is moving and rotating, it throws Utah off. And that's exactly where the Clippers have to do. Keep the ball rotating. Don't get stagnant. Don't get too much ISO. I know Paul George sometimes get into his little, dribbling session, trying to show, everybody, his handle, but we don't need that. We've seen your handle before. We need to see you win. And that's all that matters. Because at the end of the day, that's the only thing people remember was the ones who won. They don't remember the ones who lost. So, like I said, tomorrow's the game 7. You know it. I know it. The Clippers got to go do it. And that's just my mindset. And that's the way the Clippers mindset should be. Because really, like I said, there's really no other way to look at it. And if there is any chance for Kawhi to come back, only way that's going to happen is if the Clippers, are in these series. If the Clippers are in the playoffs. Because Kawhi can't come back if you're not in the playoffs. So, or he can't possibly come back if you're not in the playoffs. If you're knocked out, then you're out. So my point is, you got to keep the mindset of, we got to keep this thing going, because we got to keep the positivity that that Kawhi can come back and possibly help us get over the hump and get to the finals and help and win a championship. You got to keep that positivity in your head. And that's what got to drive the Clippers right now. Now, like I said, today we'll see, they're probably going to do more MRI tests on Kawhi Leonard's knee and see exactly where he is. But we'll see the severity of that and keep our fingers crossed on that one and hope everything works out, But if it's meant to be, of course it's meant to be, and that's the way you got to look at it, that he comes back and be able to help the team, because I really think, with Kawhi there, I think they're a championship team. Without Kawhi, I think they possibly could win a championship, but it's going to be just tremendously tough because, like I said, I still think we can beat Phoenix in 7 without Kawhi, but based on what I saw last night anyway. You know what I'm saying? We could beat them in 7, I think, but it's still going to be tough. And like I said, we still got to get past Utah. And then I'm pretty sure the Brooklyn Nets will be in waiting in the finals. And that's going to be even tougher because, well, I mean, that's a lot of firepower there. And I'm pretty sure by that time, who knows, but I'm pretty sure Kyrie might even be back by that time, along with James Harden, with Kevin Durant. Well, it's really going to be tough to win that series. But I mean, hey, anything is possible. We'll just focus on tomorrow night. We'll just take it there and take it game by game and see how the steps go and see how the dice fall. You know what I'm saying? Because that's pretty much the only thing we can do. But I mean, big win by the Clippers last night. I was really impressed. I'm pretty sure the NBA world is impressed, and I'm pretty sure it shocked a lot of people because I think most analysts were counting them out. But hey, you know what I'm saying? When a team has that emotional drive and energy and, mental movement about them where they're trying to, show everybody that they're a good team, that they still have pride and intensity, integrity, that goes a long way. And that's what the Clippers did last night. They showed a lot of that. And I hope that carries on to tomorrow's game and help them get past the series and move on to the next. So, hey, that's my take on the whole situation. Let me know your take on it, and leave any comments in the comment section, and let me know what you think. And I value your opinion as always. And Cali out.